Data analysis overview. First of all, this free course is an overview, which means I can't explain all what I will explain in the real course only in 2 days. We are just giving you an overview of, if you talk with us, the data analysis course, what topics will be studied and what is the rhythm of the pace of illustrating the materials, what software will be used, what elements will be used, and so on. So sometimes I will be very specific in my explanation when I find this, I must go in depth in a certain aspect, but sometimes I will just give you an idea or a very general brief about the topic or the tool that I will explain. So again, and again, to make it very clear, we are not expecting, or you should us to teach you all the data analysis course in only 2 days. The objective of this free overview to give you just a brief about what will you find if you decided to take this course with us. This is very important. Okay, data analysis. I always like to start with the title, data analysis. What is data and what is analysis? So what is data anyway? Data is a noun by dictionary. It's a factual information organized for analysis. Factual. Factual, it means fact. There is no assumptions here. When I collect data about the waiting times in hostel or downtime manufacturing or the production rate in manufacturing or length of stay or whatever, these are facts. I'm not assuming things. Data also is numerical or other information represented in a form suitable for processing by computer. It's very important to differentiate between data human body can understand and data human body cannot understand, or data computer can understand, but data computer cannot understand. This is the second time in a row that I'm warning that these things which is happening here, someone is playing, I don't know why, this is not allowed. And I capture the title, which is not named, just the numbers. And if this happens again, I will remove you from the session because we are not here to play. So please close your annotation bar and stick to me if you are interested in the lecture. Otherwise, you can stick to the rules or you can leave the session. This is the last time I will say this warning for anyone. I don't like to see this thing in the session. Someone who is just playing with the annotation. No, I will clear it for the last time. And if this happens again, I will remove you from the session. And you will not get recording, by the way. So back to our presentation. When I have some data, which I can understand, it does not mean by necessary that a computer can understand. So the software we will be relying much upon in our course will be Minitab, and I will show it to you, inshallah, today or and tomorrow in some topics or in some situations. So Minitab is statistical software. It's one of the top 10 statistical software, plus SPSS, Data, Mathematica, Click, and so on. So when you collect data, you have to make it clear for the computer or for the statistical software you are working with. So many times, you as a human body, you can understand some records from your company, for example. But if you just drop the data in its original format into the Minitab, the computer cannot understand what you are doing. So we have to collect the data in a format that could be understood well by our software, which is, in this case, Minitab. Also, data could be obtained from scientific experiments, and I will speak about what is scientific experiments or design of experiments, inshallah, tomorrow. So this is for data. What about analysis? Analysis is a process of making some mathematical and statistical equations or manipulation in your data in order to get insights, in order to get relationships between variables, in order to make some prediction, in order to make some forecasting and time series analysis, in order to solve problems like in quality, for example, and supply chain. So actually analysis is a very, very broad term which simply incorporate how mathematics and statistics can help you to get insights from your data. This is a very popular question, which many times I get, whether in free courses or free overviews or in the main official course, which how can I collect the data? So what do you think? I can see that a lot of you are working in quality, especially in healthcare. Till now, I can see that not everyone has introduced him or herself, but till now, I'm keep receiving messages about quality. It's okay. So what do you think? You can write your thoughts in the Zoom chat box. How can you collect the data? For sure, there is a lot of times, whatever your career, whatever your industry, whatever your country, in which you were required to collect some data. So how each one of you is collecting the data? Questionnaire, direct observation, questionnaire, observing, surveys. Excellent. I will give you extra 1 minute for this. So everyone, feel free to think and write what's your data collection tools? Survey, interviews, or for hospital records. Excellent. Surveys. Mm. Interviews, direct observations. Okay. Focus groups. Excellent. Questionnaire. Audit. Excellent. Very good. Tables. Or tables on SQL Server, for example. Yes. Number of complaints. Excellent. Excellent. Great observation. Complaints. Audit, survey, direct observation, records. Excellent. Thank you very much. Your answers exceeded my expectations. Feedback. Also, I will add the suggestion boxes. In many industries, we have something called suggestion box. So we can also understand our business or collect some data using the suggestion box. But overall, your responses have exceeded my expectations. Thank you very much. Reports and incidents, yes, incidents are great source of data. So again and again, you have approximately exceeded my expectations. All of you have written is source of data, so we can collect the data in a variety of ways. I will not repeat what you have written, but interviews, questionnaires, audits, complaints, suggestion boxes, focus groups, observations, uh, uh, data importing from SQL Server. If you have SQL Server, for example, well, sometimes some people just call it system. I have a system in my hostel. I have a system in my. So the word system may incorporate a lot of scenarios. Maybe an ERP, enterprise resource planning, just like SAP or Oracle. It may be an SQL server. Uh, maybe I have just some Excel sheets on my computers in my company. I'm driving data from them. So all of these are sources of data. So great. Uh, you are now on the line or on the bar regarding source of data. How can you collect the data? What is focus group? Focus group, it means you collect a lot of people. For example, a group of patients, if you are working in history, sorry, in hospital, or a group of retailers, for example, if you are working in manufacturing, and you are have an open discussion with them. You are asking them what are the problems you are facing with us, what's your recommendation, and blah, 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 blah. This is called the focus group. This is for our what if questions. Administrative data and the chart review also. Okay, yes, dashboards as well. If you have some sort of dashboards like Heba mentioned, dashboards are great sources of data, and dashboards usually is built over another source of data, Excel sheet, SQL Server, and so on. Where is the slides? The slide is being presented and you should see it on your screen. If you cannot see it, you can log out and log in again. Slides will be shared with you tomorrow after the end of the course, inshallah. But if you cannot see my shared presentation while the others can see it, it means you have a problem which simply could be resolved by logging out and logging in. This is uh, this is a very popular bug in Zoom. You can just log out and log in and you can see it. You are welcome, no problem. If anyone face a problem in seeing my slides, because I'm sharing my slides for more than 15 minutes right now, just log out and log in and things will be fine. Okay, sometimes Salwa, there will be a lag or delay according to the speed of internet. So sometimes you can see it a lot lately because the speed of internet, but the most important thing that you can see it right now, which is good. Thank you very much. Nawar is saying what MRM. Everyone will start to speak about his or her sources and his organizations, which may take a lot of abbreviations and something you are not required to worry about because same thing may have different names across organizations and different abbreviations as well. But the main idea is still the same. We can summarize them, as I said, about 5 minutes ago. Surveys, questionnaires, observation, focus groups, audit complaints, suggestion books, and so on. So this is good. We are all now understand from where I can get my data. So what you have said and what I have summarized, we call it ways of collecting data. It is a way of collecting data. I can collect it via questionnaire.
كويس الحمد لله ما في التهاب رئوي يعني قصبة الهوائية بس.
Please make sure that your mics are turned off, please. Management review meeting. Okay, thank you. May Ali, please, keep turning off your mic and you're keep turning it on. So please make sure that it's turned off. Okay. Again, surveys, questionnaires, blah, 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 what you have said is called ways of collecting data. It's a way of collecting the data. But in order to make this collection documented, we'll use something called data collection plan. So whatever the source of your data, survey, questionnaire, audit, whatever, in data analysis, we are very organized people. So we need to keep everything documented. That's why we have a tool called data collection plan. Where is the registration link? I can't understand what do you mean by registration link? We have only a link for Zoom, which you are only on it right now. Zoom slides, please. Zoom slides are already shared. If you can't see it, just log out and log in. So I don't understand what you mean by Zoom slides. Zoom slides or the presentation will be shared with you, as I said minutes ago, tomorrow, inshallah, after the end of the course. I will not send it today or right now. So if you cannot see it in Zoom, log out and log in again. If you can see it, it will be handed over to you tomorrow, inshallah. Data collection plan, without going into details, as I have hinted in the beginning of the lecture, is a tool. We use it in data analysis to make everything documented. So quickly, first, the measure. What you are measuring. For example, I'm measuring the waiting time, or I'm measuring the length of stay, or I'm measuring the lead time in supply chain, or I'm measuring the downtime in a certain manufacturing plant, or I'm measuring the production rate, whatever. So what you are measuring, the name of parameter or the name of your KPI, we can call it. And I think all of you understand on this level what is KPI or what KPI is. key performance indicator. So what exactly you are measuring? Okay. Then the type of measures, something we will go through it within minutes, which means type of data, because in statistics we have a lot of types of data and you have to understand it well. So you can exclude this for the now being. Then operational definition. Operational definition means, what does it mean? For example, when I say KPI is waiting time in the outpatient, some people in certain hostels will say that the waiting time is the time between registration until the patient will see the doctor or the physician. But other hostels will define it that it is the time between the patient entering the waiting area until he can see his physician or her physician. So there is KPIs are not just this. It is not Quran. So you may have the same KPI, waiting time and waiting time, downtime and downtime, blah, 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 blah. But in certain organizations or in different organizations, it has a different meaning. So make sure when you are collecting data, you are defining your KPI. I mean here that the waiting time is the time between the patient entering the waiting area till he can see the physician. This is called an operational definition. Because if you did not include this, many people will explain it or understand it in different ways. Then we have another column, which is measurement of the test method. How can you measure this? Can you measure it visually or via records or Excel sheet or SQL servers or blah, 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 blah? How can you measure it? Using stopwatch, for example, or it's stored in your computers. How can you know, for example, lead time in supply chain or waiting time in hospital and so on? Also, we have something called data tag here. The data tag means التمييز in Arabic. Data tags, it means you are talking about time, waiting time, or lead time. Okay, this time will be measured in hours or minutes or seconds. This is called data tag. So we are not just suffused with the term time. Okay, time could be days, weeks, months, years, minutes, hours, seconds. So which data tag you are implementing. Then the data collection method, something we have gone through it before, manual or spreadsheet or computer or blah, blah, blah. And another routine data, which is who will do it, who measured the waiting time, Ahmed, who measured the production rate in our manufacturing plant, Mahmoud, who measured the turnaround time in the lab, Yasmin or Noha, and so on. So as you can see, we are detailing our documentation as much as we can. Then the last part, which is called sampling plan, from where you get your data, from the lab, from the maintenance department, from the medical record department, from the lab department, when, how often the data is collected, whether it's collected on daily basis or on shift basis or on weekly basis or monthly basis, something you have to specify. And how many, it means simply the sample size, how many observations you have collected in your sample. 500 observation, 100 observations, 200 observations, and so on. All of this information will constitute something called, as you can see, data collection plan. And this is very important in data analysis. To make things clearer, to make things documented, because many times you will have to revert back to this. For example, when you have a problem in the accuracy of the data of the waiting time. So I will go to data collection plan to remember who was in charge measuring data collection plan. Ahmed. Oh, so Ahmed, why your data is inaccurate? Do you need training? Do you need to understand anything well? So if you need to make any improvement in your data collection process, you will visit again and again your data collection plan a lot of times.